Dearest brothers and sisters, we're here in the Edible Schoolyard of Martin Luther King Middle School, a very, very glorious gem of a place that speaks so deeply to us, telling us what we can be, what we can become. And those of you who are interested in climate change and feel threatened by it, this, I assure you, is one of the ways to stabilize the climate, by taking a nondescript backyard or schoolyard and turning it into fertile, vivacious, magnificent ground filled with life forces. So we're going to be doing a planting today. This is going to be a planting for late summer. It's June here in Berkeley, and we're going to be planting for the end of summer now. You always plant a couple months ahead, and we're going to start with lettuce. We're going to start with an oak leaf lettuce, and put that right here just on the top. And one thing you might note is that with lettuce, the seeds are so small, you just leave them on the surface. You don't bury them. You don't need to bury them, whatever. And now a dark romaine lettuce that I've got through the Seed Savers Exchange. Wonderful people preserving our heritage in heirloom and historic seed. So dark green romaine lettuce. And now an outrageous lettuce, called outrageous because it's a glorious deepest red. And once again, I just put this on the top of the tiny seeds, just on the top of the bed. Outrageous lettuce. And now about another romaine called Dragoon. Unlikely name for a lettuce, but that's the way it is. Just sprinkle the lettuce lightly on the surface of this sifted compost. And now how about Gold Rush? It's slow to bolt. Gold Rush from Seed Savers Exchange. And let's finish up with a lettuce called All Cream. This is a most delectable lettuce. Soft, fragrant leaves, all cream. And it's from Seed Savers Exchange. Okay. So that more or less finishes up our lettuce. And now let's go over to let's plant some other greens. Let's plant some parsley. It's going to take 3 weeks before the parsley germinates for us, but it will get there. But you've got to be patient with some of these. So we're going to be planting some parsley. And then a classic California salad green, miner's lettuce. It's a most delicious green indeed, miner's lettuce. And once again, the smaller the seed, the less need there is to bury it. I'm simply sprinkling these on the top of the sifted compost. And then Typhoon Holland greens. These have been these have become quite popular all of a sudden. And now for our brassicas. First, red Ursa kale. And how about some collard greens? Collards, by the way, are magnificent brassicas. Collard greens. And then another, something called Morris heading collards. And now, what garden would be, no garden would be complete without Siberian kale. And of course, these plants will last all through the autumn and winter. One simply cuts the outer leaves, and it will grow. And it grows from its center. So just cutting the outer leaves, put them in your salads, and it will keep growing on for months and months and months. And another magnificent, imagine 1,000-headed kale. Look at those leaves. Isn't this a gem? 1,000-headed kale from Baker's Creek Heirloom Seeds. And then to the Seed Savers Exchange from a private collector, something called Long Season Kale. So here we go. One of our fundaments is that if you're concerned about the food you eat, grow as much of it yourself as you can. This is so important. And let us remember, no tomato tastes as good as the one that you have grown, that you've propagated, that you've started from that you planted a seed, you started from a tiny seedling, and right before your eyes, it has fruited for you. It has fruited into abundance and graced your table. With times the way they are, and just reading out loud the headlines, say in the Wall Street Journal, when they're talking about strife, when they're talking about strife, about trade wars, which all too often give way to shooting wars, tragically enough. It's more important than anything else that we get back to emulating the greatest generation. During the war, there were something like 21 million backyard victory gardens in this country, and they made a great difference in the war effort, because by harvesting fruits and vegetables, more and more food was available for our soldiers overseas. So the word today is victory gardens. And if you live in an apartment and you don't have the luxury of a backyard or a front yard, then of course a community garden. And what about that schoolyard? Here we are, the proof of what, with ingenuity, with focused energy, with focused energy, with intentionality, you are able to create a small Garden of Eden right here. Was once a schoolyard, and now the students come here, and with joy, singing and dancing, they plant and harvest the food that they eat in their school lunches. This is a magnificent example. There should be so very, very many more edible schoolyards. So let us go forward, brothers and sisters. We welcome your comments and suggestions. They're gold to us. You might want to hit the subscribe button down below and even perhaps give us a like. We want to hear from you. Your critiques are gold to us. You are our treasure. My privilege to share. Thank you indeed. Let us go forward.